Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. Today we're going to show you how to do the maintenance. I call it like the monthly maintenance on the Shark IQ robot model number RV101AE. I've got the owner's guide here. I really like this. We've been giving it a really good workout, but I think you got to keep up on the maintenance. So there's about 3 filters that we need to clean in here, and I'm going to show you how to do them. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to unplug the base, and then we're going to turn the machine off. Right there is off. So now we've got the base unplugged, the machine is off. Now we're going to start working on it. I'm going to divide the video into 2. I'm going to do the Shark, and then the base has quite a bit going on with it that we've got to keep clean. So here's a tool. If you don't have access to an air compressor, here's an electric. You just plug it in. It's got a cord. It's a little air blower, and I absolutely love it. It's got a low and a high. It's great for blowing these things out. Now we're going to do this outside. There's some areas we need to blow out, but this thing just works really good. I'll put a link to it in the show description notes. So the first thing, let's take out the collection bin. This thing needs some attention. Let's open it up. Now it does a pretty good job of sucking everything out. Once in a while you will find some big clumps of hair that it kind of gets stuck and it doesn't get sucked up by the machine. But we want all of this area to be nice and clean. These things catch hair. And if you use that blower outside, it will blow these off. But mainly it's this filter right here we got to get nice and clean. So if we close, we don't clean it. We can clean some of it from this way. And there's definitely a lot of debris gets down in there. We're going to have to clean that out. But close it, and we're going to get to it from this side. So we're going to pull this filter out this way. And then there's what it looks like. Now you can replace these. They sell these new. I get a couple uses out of them by blowing them out pretty good. We're going to blow them out. We'll blow them out the other way. And again, we'll shoot some air down in here. And again, we'll make sure and get all of that off. So some other tools, it's nice to have some soft bristle brush for cleaning different, like getting hair off. We really want to keep up on the maintenance of these. These things work really hard. And if we let things build up, they're not going to work as good. Getting down in there and getting all that stuff off. Again, it's great to do this outside with that blower. You just kind of scrub around here, get all this stuff knocked loose. We want this nice and clean. Okay, so here I've got the blower. And then we're going to blow this out. And then blow it from this way too. Okay, so now we're going to turn the machine over. We're going to remove the brush head. Now this is not as critical as you do it, but push these little tabs. This is going to come up. You may have some hair on here, but there is quite a bit of hair buildup on there. So we want to make sure this is all nice and clean. This part stays put. Again, there's some buildup there. So this is actually a really good idea to clean this too. Get you a brush, a soft bristle brush, kind of just clean this whole area right in here. Get this all nice and clean. This can really cause you some problems. And that's only after a week's worth of work. But we did use it pretty hard during that week. Now these stay pretty clean. I even get the bristle brush and clean those. You have to pick that off. Get these all nice and clean. We'll take this outside and blow this off too. Next thing, make sure these sweepers, there's no torn or frayed ones or hair stuck in there, because that can really cause some damage. So make sure those nice and clean. Those are nice and clean. The wheels, yeah, everything's kind of good there. Now we're going to be using a dry cloth. We want to wipe off the charging sensors. See these charging? We want to get those. There can be a little buildup on there, and we want to wipe those off really good, just with a dry cloth. Next, we're going to take this wheel out. So I don't recommend cleaning this every month, but check and see if you've got a bunch of hair. But if you do, it's kind of hard. You got to kind of pry it off. one side and then the next, kind of pry it from one side to the next. And again, we're going to use a brush, kind of make sure it's all nice and clean. Make sure it's nice and clean down in there. We're going to blow that out. So we'll leave that off for now. Then we've also got these sensors here. These are your fall off sensors. Again, just a damp, not a damp, but a dry cloth is what you're going to brush those with. It doesn't hurt to hit them with this, just a little bit if there's some buildup on there. So on these sides, I can't tell if that's a sensor or not, right behind the bumper. But I clean it anyway, just in case. The book really doesn't talk about it, but I keep it nice and clean. So you want to check the bumper. Make sure there's not any hair, kids' toys. Nothing's getting in the way of this bumper. Make sure the plastic is all, or there's a rubber bumper is all installed. I have seen little, like a stick or a twig kind of get caught in there. And again, there's some of those sensors you're going to be cleaning. Clean off around the wheels. Just anywhere where you might see some dirt build up. Okay, so let's give this a good blowing. And now one last thing, that's a sensor on top. I like to give the top just a quick wipe down. It gets dirty, but again, keep that kind of glass window clean. That's a sensor that it uses to map your house. And I recommend putting it on something. You could scratch the top. Here's replacement parts. If you need it, you can pause the video. There's all the different replacement parts that they sell for the base station and the vacuum. So let's put the wheel in first. It just snaps in, make sure it rolls good. Let's put this back in. This looks like it's going to be a little challenging. So again, this isn't all the way clean. That's a little hard to get clean, is that little ledge right there. Got to kind of pick at it with your fingernail a little bit. So one end has something attached, the other end doesn't. You're going to poke this end in first, then that end. So that's a little tricky, that side there. If you get it the wrong way, it just won't go in. But get it that right way, and then it sits nice and flush. Then we're going to grab this. Make sure it's nice and clean. It's got some stuff on there. It's got these two little tabs. Put those in, or 3 tabs. Put those in first. That's nice and flush. Then snap each one of those in. Now that's free to move. Don't forget we got our filter. We've got this closed. We're going to insert it. So it will only go one way. If you try to put it in backwards, it just won't go. So it's kind of like that, ramped like that. It should just slide right in, and then just kind of give it a little snug. Lift this up. We can see the filter. We've got that all nice and clean. You could wipe this off. There does seem to be some stuff on there a little bit still. Again, it's just important to get these things nice and clean. These are pretty nice things that help clean our house. Kind of clean in there a little bit. Thought I had that all cleaned off. Okay, so then we reinstall it. Let's make sure it snaps. Okay, the vacuum is done. Now the base station, it can be pretty dirty. So the first thing we're going to do is empty whatever is in here into your trash. We've got a filter here and a filter on the side here. So the dustbin, you may not have looked inside. I'm sure you probably have, but a lot of hair clings to this cone that sits down in there. And then there's stuff that sticks to the top right here too. I like to see, get in there. That was all stuck to the top. So get in there with a brush. And we're going to blow all this out too. But I do find that gets really, really dirty up in there. And same with in here. We're gonna blow all this out. You may have some stuff in there to kind of clean around. And we can see right in this area, there is quite a bit of dust. This is a great project to do outside. Okay, so on to probably the dirtiest part is this filter here. I was surprised how much fine dust there is in this filter. This is very important to clean. I was very surprised by this. It says important, clean filters every month or loss of suction will occur. So there's a little thing, reach in there and grab it. And there's the fan motor. So we don't want to drop anything down in there. There's the chamber. We want to make sure that's nice and clean. That leads to that. I bet you could find a toy or a Lego sucked in there sometime. Then on this side here, we're going to press this down. It exposes another filter. Now this one doesn't get nearly as dirty as that one. This one they say it's every 3 years, but I'm going to go ahead and just clean it while we've got it off. So they recommend washing this with soap and water. Clean filter, rinse and let dry completely. Also tap dirt loose between washes as needed. So you don't necessarily have to wash it every time, but they want you to wash it with water. And then you're going to have to let this dry. So your vacuum cleaner is going to be out of commission for about 24 hours. And so you just pull this filter, comes off of here. Again, very dirty. I'm going to go blow it out and see if we can get another use out of it. Okay, so I'm going to blow out this. Okay, I don't know if you saw, but there was a bunch of dirt. Bunch of fine dirt that came out when I blew this out. And that looks really nice now. Next, I'm going to blow out the base. So this little one doesn't get too dirty. Blow him out. Now this one gets dirty. Okay, so I'm going to put this side. I didn't really blow this out. This thing had hardly any dirt on it at all. So let's put it back on the side. It just snaps in. Grab this. And that should just snap in like that. Make sure nothing has fallen down in there. We're going to put this down with that little tab sticking up. Then you're going to, there's not an up or down. Now, blowing this out, there is still just a little bit of fine. I could see where washing this out and letting it dry would help get rid of some of that in there, but we did a pretty good job by blowing it out. So maybe every third time I might wash it out. I got it on the holder. You're just simply going to put the holder in there, and it kind of goes down a little bit. So don't just plop it down, kind of push it down just a little bit. And then you're ready to snap. There you go. So again, thanks everybody for watching. These things are really nice, and it's a good idea to take care of these. That's a very simple procedure. The biggest thing is being able to blow things out. That really helped. I think that got things the cleanest. Having a little brush did help a little bit too, and getting things like long hairs untangled and stuff. So again, make sure that's nice and clean. Thanks everybody for watching.